Southern Tennessee Regional Health System. Pulaski is here to help you be well. Our mission is to make our community healthier, and we're your community hospital. We're committed to providing trusted care when you need it most. From wellness checks to emergencies, we're here for you and your family. Visit us today at southerntennessee.com or call 931-363-7531.
When it comes to real estate, Haney Realty and Property Management is the team you can trust. Our extensive knowledge of the market and industry allows us to help our clients with any real estate need. We know how to get results. So whether you're looking to buy, sell, or rent, let us put our expertise to work for you. Call us today at 931-347-9150 or visit HaneyRealtyPM.com to learn more. Haney Realty and Property Management, your best friend in real estate. If you're looking for a new job, let M&M Staffing be your guide. With over 20 years of experience, we know how to connect great people with great opportunities. We work with over 80 companies, so we're sure to find the perfect job for you. Our team is dedicated to helping you succeed, and our high customer satisfaction rate proves it. Ready to get started? Visit us at mnmstaffing.net or give us a call today at 931-347-4255.
For over 50 years, PES Energize has been proudly powering our community in Pulaski and Giles County, Tennessee. We're more than just an electric utility. We also offer internet, TV, and phone services. Our commitment to our customers and our community is what sets us apart. We're dedicated to providing safe, reliable, and innovative services. At PES Energize, we believe that serving you is a privilege. We're here for all your energy needs. Visit PESEnergize.com or call
The
us
Natural
today.
Gas Department of Pulaski is here to help you save money. Natural gas is safe, efficient, and cost-effective. It's up to 50 to 60% less expensive than electricity for home heating. Plus, it's clean and efficient, so you can feel good about your choice. Call us today for service or visit our website to learn more. Make the switch to natural gas and start saving today.
When it comes to insurance, Winterburn & Associates Insurance is the team you can trust. We offer coverage for your home, auto, business, and more. We work hard to find the best policy for you at the best price. Our personalized service means we take the time to understand your needs and make sure you understand your options. We want you to feel confident and secure with your insurance policy. Let us make insurance simple for you. Get a quote today at winterburinsurance.com or call us at 931-363-8638.
Before we stand for a moment of silence and prayer, in that moment of silence and prayer, I'd like for us to recognize Coach Jackie Smith, right at 80 years of age, mentor, father, if you will, coach, teacher to many, many of us, 38 years of coaching and teaching in Giles County. And he moved on to bigger and better things last Friday. And so as we stand, please keep him in your prayers, his family in your prayers, daughter and 3 grandchildren. We rise, bow our heads. Father, we are so grateful for yet another day. Please lead us, your hand upon us. We love you, we praise you, we thank you. Amen.
Amen. Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you all. Item on the agenda is the consent agenda, the approval of minutes from the November 2nd meeting.
Mr. Chair, I'd like to ask if we can add an additional change order. This did come in a little earlier today from Brindley. If we could add that to item 8C, GCHS renovation update and UVC change order, and one additional change order that you do have information in your packet that we can look at in just a little bit, if y'all are willing to add that item.
Unless there are objections, we'll add that to the agenda. None. Is there a motion to approve the consent agenda?
So moved.
Second.
Motion made and seconded. Any discussion? All those in favor say aye. Aye. Those opposed. Thank you. Mr. Patrick Gibber here is from First National Bank. I'd like to recognize our employees of the month.
Thank you,
There
Mr.
you are.
Chairman. I appreciate that. This is the season of giving, and I am here to give tonight, but I want to recognize the people who give the gift that continually gives. So thank you for your service, and thank you for leading the kids of Giles County. So our first winner tonight is Amy Francis from Glasgow Elementary School. And my granddaughter is here tonight being recognized, so you talk about making a proud papa feel good. And I know there's some other proud grandparents and parents here tonight too. So recognizing pre-K through 5, Miss Kristen Ellis from Minor Hill School.
Thank you.
And last but not least, 6 through 12, Amber Case from Elkton School.
She's not able to be with us. She's not able to be with us.
Okay, could I leave that with
Yes,
you,
sir.
Dr. Beard?
Thank you so much.
Thank you so much for giving us the opportunity to recognize the teachers. Okay?
Thank you for
Hope
doing
everybody
so.
has a Merry Christmas. All right.
Mr. Gibber, thank you for always being here. We appreciate your support in First National Bank. Thank you so much. All right, we got recognition of students. We've got Mr. Ogeron's Southside Elementary School art folks here, and we got a lot of nice inventory on the wall, and we'll hand it over to you, Mr.
Just wanted to
Ogeron.
say thank you all for allowing us to showcase some of our many students' exemplary artwork. They have gone above and beyond just to create some beautiful works of art, and to be able to showcase that to our school board and just community at large is just amazing. We appreciate everything that you do, and I appreciate these students' wonderful artwork. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you very much. Thank you all for being here. You guys are free to go. We got your picture, and thanks so much for what you guys do. Thank y'all.
Now to the rec center.
Now to the rec center.
He is sitting right on the bench.
Where she needs to go. She keep it on task.
There's some colorful.
Yes.
I know all of my kids. I just love his class, and then my youngest is in his RTI class, so they just they have a big We do have one more recognition we need to make. It's not on the agenda, but now is the time. Dr. Beard.
Mr. Watson would come up. Mr. Mike Watson has been our maintenance supervisor for a number of years. He has been with our school system for 30 years. And next Friday will be Mr. Watson's last day with us. He's going on to help take care of his granddaughter and do other things grandpops do. So we would like to present him with an appreciation for all that you've done.
Don't go, Mike. Don't go.
Thank you so much.
Thank you, Mike.
I would like to say something if I could.
Yes, sir.
I've been through a lot of directors through my time, and the best directors have come from within inside this county. I'm gonna promise you that, because when you look outside this county for somebody to direct this system, you won't find anybody any better than the ones that have been here before. I've worked through a lot of directors. Everyone that has been top notch has been within the school system. It's just been moved to here, not from outside the county. So whenever Dr. Beard does decide to leave, y'all don't look outside the county. Get somebody in this county, because they've got this county's best interest at heart. I promise you.
Yes.
And I've seen a lot of them.
Yeah, you have. Thank you. Thank you.
I hope she never does.
Thank you, Mike. Thanks a lot. Under new business, the Thrive Youth Program. Remember, this was presented to us at the work session, Mr. Rose from the Extension. And just as a reminder, this is, since it's curriculum based, it does need our approval. Southside Elementary is the focus at this point. Could have other elementary schools. And this is a curriculum based on health consciousness and hygiene based decisions. Just be a supplement to help with the education on that front. Would we have a motion to approve?
Motion to approve.
Motion's been made and seconded. Is there any discussion? Questions? Seeing none, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed? Item B, under new business, budget amendments. We've had this budget amendment kind of putting itself together. This will go to January commission. Bus purchases, the first item under budget amendments, we've talked about bringing in the 2 special ed buses, the 3 83 passenger buses, and that was at a cost of $665,282.56. This is bringing in 5 buses this year, and we are up for approval on this. Do we have a motion to approve?
I move that we do approve that.
Second.
There's a motion been made and seconded for the purchase of these 5 buses. Any discussion, questions? I would like to just take this time to reiterate, because I've talked with Dr. Beard a little bit and tried to just get some simpler information for us on such a large expense, especially as we look at our expenses going forward with renovation projects and the likes. We did pull from our fund balance this past year just over $1 million for other capital projects, and that would include like purchasing these buses. So as we get closer and closer to taking on these additional projects, and as we talk about Bridgeforce GMP later on, the cost consciousness of what we need to do really does need to come into play. I know we volley back and forth between putting buses on a 12-year schedule or putting buses on a 15-year schedule. We had previously, with the previous director,
Transportation
supervisor, Mrs. Busby, we're working towards a 15-year turn. But based on the buses that we bought up to that time, we still never really got into that turn. And now we're looking at a 12-year rotation just because of where we start. EGR cooler replacements, injector replacements, turbos, the general mechanical problems, tires, all that. So can we work within 15 years? Yes. Can we end up getting to that 15-year rotation where we're not having to buy as many buses and spend as many as a year? I think we can, based on what I've seen or what I understand in this process. But in my opinion, in looking at 5 buses this year, it is the 3 regular passenger, 83 passenger, but it's the 2 special ed buses. So maybe after this expense, we can get back to a 3 per year and stay on that rotation. Does that sound accurate to
Yes, sir.
kind of what we've talked about, Dr. Beard?
Yes, sir.
Because there has been years where we either didn't buy buses or we only bought 2, so we've always kind of been behind on that. And definitely want everybody to be in the know of how this expense hits us. Any questions?
We spending 200-something thousand normally than we normally do, and by adding the other 2 buses.
Right.
Versus the 3 at 300-something thousand.
Well, and I thought you were going to come with this question. Mileage on vehicles, a diesel engine will go well over 200,000, but at 200,000 is when the state starts saying that bus needs to be decommissioned. So our time frames aren't quite the same as the way that we would as individuals or a small business would run them. I was surprised. I'd forgotten about the 200-mile.
200,000.
200,000, yes, sir. That's light on a that's
Nothing
warming,
on diesel.
warming the diesel up, but regulations say otherwise. V8 with 350 on it, right?
Around 50,000. My son's got one that's got 380.
I wish I had one of those. Any other questions or concerns on this, or we'll put it to vote? All those in favor of this purchase say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed? Item II, the NASP coaching supplement. As we've worked through this, it's $900 each. We can pull that in this budget amendment, and that'll pay the 2 coaches, one at Elkton and one at Minor Hill. And again, we're relying on their laurels for their scholarships or fundraisers for the training and the startup monies for each of those programs. A motion to approve.
So moved.
Made and seconded. Any discussion? All those in favor say aye. Aye. Those opposed? Item I, the BCBA position to contract. Remember, this is the board certified behavioral analyst. We could really use a full-time one here in our county, but we have found a modified version contracting that work out for 15 hours per week. That's a $30,000 allotment. And just as a reminder for this salary line item in our budget for this year, we had $65,000 appropriated for it, so we will have some additional money in that budget.
Motion to approve.
Motion is made and seconded. Any questions or discussion? All those in favor say aye. Aye. Those opposed? Our nurses knew to approve that one. Public Schools Safety Grant, we're moving those accepted funds into the maintenance and the administrative equipment, and then that way they can be purchased for all different safety purposes. We just need to make that move apparent in the budget amendment and put that money where it needs to be. $144,525 state grant on safety.
Motion to approve.
Second.
Motion made and seconded. Any discussion or questions? All those in favor say aye. Aye. Those opposed? Item C, under new business, the Giles County High School renovation, the UVC change order. Just to remind everybody, this is for the UV lighting that will be added to the new units that are going in at a total cost of $76,280.69. As we've discussed, we wanted this to come out of our contingency. So this would be the second change order in our job over there, and then you know that we're adding another one to the discussion tonight as well. Is there a motion to approve the UVC change order, and that's change order number 2 for the renovation project? No new money, it comes out of contingency, it just requires our approval and signatures.
So moved.
Second.
Motion's made and seconded for the UVC lighting purchase. Any questions or concerns? All those in favor say aye. Aye. Those opposed? Okay, what was added to the agenda is that change order number 3. This came to us today. This concerns asbestos abatement as they got into finishing out and working, I believe it's in the nurses station at GCHS. There were 15 pipe fittings where back in the day they used those asbestos to insulate where those fittings took place. So that'll take some mitigation. They got quotes within their subs, and that's $4,200. And we've added this to it so that they can do that abatement while school is out, obviously for the nature of dealing with asbestos, and they can get to that over Christmas break.
In a high traffic area too.
Yep.
By his front entrance.
Right in the front. So this will be change order number 3 if we approve. That puts our contingency at $78,231.31. Which is why we have it there. It's just hopefully we don't run into too many more issues.
Motion to approve. We can't keep asbestos.
Motion's made and seconded to approve this asbestos abatement. Change order number 3. No new money coming out of contingency. Any discussion or questions? All those in favor say aye. Aye. Those opposed? Bridgeforth Middle School, gross maximum price, the GMP, as we discussed and are continuing to discussing, that is at an amount right now set at $8.6 million. That contract would begin if we get all of our ducks in a row on February 1st of 24, trying to hit, and then completion date of 8/1/25. That's if we can get funding in place, which would take our approval, the county commission's approval as well, and working with financing to get these things in place. We did get a little kind of last minute stuff today on the GMP, and I believe, did it get sent over to everyone on the bond?
Yeah, there's information in their folder about it. It should be the very last thing in their folder.
So this last bit, and tonight we're going to go informational on this, but it's so important that we'll kind of break stride in terms of introducing. And then we will get into, discussions over these next weeks. We do have a budget committee meeting with the commission on this coming Monday, and then we have the walkthrough at Giles County High School on Wednesday, and then we have a work session on Thursday. I hope more information can come in as we do that, just because of the time frame. But I think it's definitely an all hands on deck, trying to figure out how to finance this and satisfy the financing of it. But the highlights on this bond issuance that come through, and this is what everybody would probably their eyes going to go to, is that right now it's at 5.39% on a 10-year note. And with that would come a price of $3.771 million in financing. So, and we sent in, not on 8.6, but we sent in on 10 million, just in case it takes us longer to work on what financing we're going to do and how we're going to do it, because Brindley let us know as we push past February, we run into price increases at that time, and deliverability issues, as we've already run into with Giles County, seeing that it does take time on some of those big ticket items to come in. And then obviously we can't move forward with a GMP unless we have the money in place, or the money that can be committed to it through a bond. I don't know about you guys, but and I know this is fresh to everyone, but as we look over this, if you look at a 12-year bond, I don't think there's enough savings in what you look at as the debt services on that far right column. And then when you get into a 15-year bond, you're gonna have a hard time talking me into spending $6 million to gain $10 million. So I think that's a no-go. If I were trying to figure this out and I was spending this money myself, I would definitely be looking at the 10-year term. A couple other highlights on it: you pay the interest semi-annually, and you pay on the principal once. So there's some breakdowns on that: February and August payments. Big question, if you look on that right side column, and if you guys will look at me it's actually page 1, which is the 10-year note, you can see that in February 1 of 25, you can see what you would have spent or been required to spend for that year. You got a heavy interest payment in August of 24 for $800,000, and then your principal payment in February. So you're looking at, you're going to need 1.8 in that first year to service that debt. So just in the last 12 hours of us looking at this, talking with finance and kind of looking around, it's can we service 1.8 through fund balance and over collection? Can we do that and run a streamlined budget, risking other capital projects? Like I referred to earlier, we spent $1.1 million in capital projects this year, but those are some dollars that needed to be spent and needed to be appropriated. But as we move forward, we're not going to have quite that leniency if we were to go that route. I asked Dr. Beard to talk with finance and get us some over collection figures. In 2020 to 2021, it was $1.883 million in over collection, so that money fell to our fund balance. 21 to 22, it was $2.617 million. In 22 to 23, it was 2.5, so it actually did go down $117,000 between last year and this year. And we've obligated or spent a lot of that, or through that, it leaves us with roughly a $4 million fund balance right now. And if you all remember, it's our personal guarantee to ourselves to not go below $3 million. So there's a little bit there, but not a whole lot.
May I ask a question?
Yes, sir.
The over collecting is not guaranteed or set in stone that we will get it every time, right?
100% correct.
So we got to be aware that county commission could withhold that at any given time?
It would do that by withholding pennies. And so I think that brings up a good question too. So the other thing that could come out of this is, as we talk about this, because there's got to be just a lot of talk at this point, could be that we say, because the county is responsible for the debt, and the debt would be issued under the county. Now, who services it? In a lot of cases, the county or those taking on the debt would do that. This is me talking out loud from discussions I've had and what I see that's on the county's plate and expenses they have. It would be difficult for them to take on servicing some of that additional debt on their own without them having more money come to themselves. So that's where we could get in a penny situation. That would also be one reason why I would say, if we feel comfortable with working off of over collection to service the debt, which again is not guaranteed, but we do have some viable figures, then we would also have to keep those pennies, because we would have to be, those pennies are what makes up that over collection. So there's,
Gotta have a balance.
gotta have a balance in there. But if they were to take any pennies back to service the debt for us, then we're still at a much lower fund balance to be able to operate on. If we keep where we are and we get our normal or averaged collection, which let's just say it's 2 million is the average we're seeing over the last 3 years. It's a little bit better than that. If it's 2 million, then in that first year, we've got 1.8 check coming up. Although we do have $1 million in the fund balance, that gets us real tight. Then it drops to 1.3 to service that for the remainder of the term. It's a lot. It's a lot to think about. The black and white of it is, we don't have a fund balance or an income basis for the school board to do this outright without it being a bond. And it's my understanding, until I'm told differently, that the county isn't in that position either with their capital projects and everything going forward. Can it be done? I think it can. The one other option, and I talked to Brian Brinley about it a little bit today, and I talked to Dr. Beard about it, and it's kind of like punting, but we could potentially cut this in half if there's, say, windows that we could get done for Bridgeport, because we know what that does right away and what we saw that do at the high school, and then maybe order some of these big ticket items that are a year out anyway, like your switchboards, your chiller, if we have any boiler issues or that, and see what that cost is. And then maybe we would break it up. But again, what are we doing? We're kicking the can a little bit farther down the road. So maybe it's this similar bond issuance at $5 million over 5 years, which makes the cash flow of the debt services, let's say roughly half. We can handle that for 5 years. But if we delay Bridgeforth and saying the bulk of the work starting in 25 instead of this summer of 24, then we're in inflation issues, and where are we with the subs, and can we get them under new submittals and new contracts, because this current GMP would not be accurate for that time. Is all this clear as mud?
No, it makes sense.
So this is our homework right now. I'm hoping that as all the powers that be talk about it more, and then as we get together on Monday with county, and then everybody gets a taste of the progress we're making and what it means for a school to be updated on that tour on Thursday, and then we get to convene and have more information in a work session next Thursday. And then I hope that we can get enough information and kind of get into where to something that's worthwhile of taking a vote on in January, with the expectation that it can be acted on and move forward. Any questions or anything you think I've kind of glossed over? And again, I'm trying to understand this too, so.
It just hurts your feelings when you look at $3.7 million just straight to interest that could be in a wall or a ceiling or a window or, you know, that's the sad part about it.
Well, in this climate, in this market, and we are fishing for a couple more options, maybe another bond agency. There, several were solicited on this. This is the one we've gotten back so far. So, but I don't know if anybody's going to do much better than 5% right now. So, I mean, that's just kind of an understanding, I think.
And there is, finance did tell us that there's roughly $107,000 in a debt service account strictly for the schools. But as you see, that's not going to go very far toward.
It's better than nothing.
Better than
But-
nothing, absolutely. But that, there's something there to
Sure.
help, but it won't go very far when you look at these figures.
Well, and I mean, in the case of a $10 million bond, the cost to set that up is $60,000. So
That's straight up.
that's just
Before we
gone.
start.
It's just a fee.
Mhm.
Yeah. Yeah. So we can talk about it.
But just how much we've just drastically seen prices change from when all of this began to what it is now. That 3.7 is, you know, prolonging it, it's gonna eat up that 3.7 too.
Well, even if inflation drops, you're still, the price of the material's gonna be the same or even more. They can get what they get for it right now, they're not gonna drop that price.
No.
And your labor's gonna continue to rise.
Yeah. Yeah, it's only gonna get more expensive. It just depends on who we pay the expenses to. Well, for me, when I look at it, just to highlight, I look at that first year of 1.843. You know, if we over collect 2 million this year, which would be 500,000 less than what we collected last year, you know, that doesn't leave us with a whole lot in fund balance.
We still have
Luckily,
cushion.
we have $1 million in fund balance. We do, or $1 million over our cutoff point. You know, there could be the other talk too on that. We got into this and where we are because there was that agreement that we would cash flow these projects, and this was an agreement with the county commission, resolution, if you will, that we would cash flow these projects with our over collection as opposed to them collecting it and cash flowing it. But we would cash flow it, and they said they would back us to let us go not go below $3 million. So, you know, a lot of things have changed since that was made, but maybe this is a time to reaffirm that. And if they feel, you know, can we feel comfortable that if we only collect 2 million, so we have 160,000 left over, add that to our other $1 million in fund balance, can we operate that first year shoestring with really just a million available as capital project lures? But again, that's just $1 million over $3 million. So
When can the tax referendum that they got failed for the school system, when will it be able to go back on the ballot? It's got to stay off so long.
it's two.
It could come up
It
at
could
the
come-
next full election, couldn't it?
2024? Or
It can come up at 24, I
I don't
believe.
think that's correct.
Yeah.
It has to wait that cycle.
But the resolution has to be done like
6 months prior?
ASAP to be put in.
Just
there.
a question.
That's a great question too, while we're talking money. So this is the year where it's time to sit back down with the city and talk about, will they re-up their $200,000 yearly commitment that they've done over the last 5 years that is strictly earmarked for teacher pay. So one, we'd be asking them if they would be so kind to do that again, and two, we throw some inflationary numbers in there as well. So that talk is coming down the road. Pretend that doesn't happen, worst case scenario, then our budget for next year is minus $200,000. We hope that it's that, or maybe plus a little bit more.
With the large strides that we've made for the teacher salaries too. I think that can't be forgotten when we talk to them as well, you know, because that was a huge leap for our folks.
We will have ESSER expenditures come up. There's definitely going to be some tit for tat there. Who's retiring? Who can we keep? How do we keep funding these positions that we've brought in over the last 2 to 3 years with ESSER funding? So it's not to say that we don't realize, all of us realize that the expenses are there and the needs are there and the funding is unsure. So there's a lot of moving parts here to figure out. I think one good thing that we run into every year is I think we do over budget, and we do budget smartly. We get a lot of help from finance, and I think we make smart decisions in here. We don't move money until we have to, and so it gives us a pretty good picture of where we're at. So no action on this, just to be able to talk about it and talk about it openly, and then to keep working towards it.
Do you still have those figures that got passed in the last election, what it would generate into our fund? Rough offhand.
The rough on the last one was that it could bring in somewhere around, I think it was 800,000 to $1 million. And so once the county is collecting that local sales option tax countywide, then it hits the county book straight away, and it's immediately halved into education. And I think one of the things that wasn't as clear as it could have been, sometimes you say something and you present something so many times you kind of forget what the little smidget part of it is, but that money was to be earmarked for teacher pay only, and so if you had that extra $400,000 or $500,000 coming in, then how much would that benefit our ESSER? Because that would get a whole lot closer than where we are right now for those teachers and the staff, support staff, and whatnot. It's also
Especially
would be a
with
big
that
thing
$200.
that's going to help us. Yes, in 2 years, our starting out teachers are going to be at 50,000 mandatory.
Yeah.
We were good enough to get them to 47 this year, but that's still another big jump. So, Scooter, I'm for you. We want to start campaigning for that. It needs.
I knew it wasn't on the agenda, but I just asked the general
big
question.
part of it.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
It goes hand in hand. We'll take that.
What we've always gotten on that too is like that money that comes in especially from like the Pulaski side, the city side. It's kind of like it's all of their sales tax collection, and so it's not like it's broken down into what the exact local auction sales tax is. I'm sure there's a formula you can do to pull out that 0.25% and figure that out. It's just I've never been able to get that figure, and then that figure you should be able to do something like that to figure out what that would look like if that were to happen countywide. But projections I heard were 800,000 up. I kind of think it'd probably be a little bit more than that, but.
Well, not only local people will be additional tax, but you got a lot of commuting and travelers that go through our
I'd have to
65 corridor that
I'd have to say the majority of the people who would be paying that would be those people, because the majority of people who live in Giles County are already paying it when they come to Pulaski to shop. But now we're capitalizing on those outside markets. I mean, it's revenue out there for us that does not hurt Giles Countyans, that's for sure. A quarter on $100, if that hurts you, then you probably shouldn't have $100 to begin with. So, and then the state's saying that you have to give the school 12.5 cents of that quarter on $100. So. Maybe we bring that. It has to be issued as a referendum, doesn't it?
Yes, sir.
All right. Any other questions on Item E, Richland High School turf for the weight room. The money is available. It is an amount that's over 5,000, 6,500. They have the money, but since it's over 5,000, it needs our approval. Have anyone here to speak on that, or it came in our packet and everything, right? I assume this is money they've raised from their gate or other fundraisers or whatnot. And,
So it'd be in the athletic fund.
athletic fund. We have a motion to approve.
So moved.
Second.
Motion made and seconded. Any discussion? All those in favor say aye. Aye. Those opposed. Item F, the GCHS portable building. If you guys remember, we talked about this at the spring retreat. This is for a portable building that will service the alternative school and will help with kind of transitioning classrooms as we do our renovations. This is ESSER funding. This was researched in April. All those folks that we saw research on were asked for bids, but it did only come back with one of them bidding on that. Is that correct, Mr. Hammond? So the diligence was done, and this was started in April. And again, these are the use of ESSER funds, which we need to use, and this will be an asset to Giles County High School as we've been told.
Make a motion.
Second.
Motion made and seconded. Any discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed. Item G, the TVA, BBI, Battle, Education, that's a STEM grant. Total of 14,600 in grants going to several different schools. Time sensitive, that's why it's here, and same thing with the portable and the weight room turf, sorry. Anything to add to that, Mr. Hammond?
No, we've had 4 teachers apply, 3 teachers were awarded, so 3 out of 4. A lot of these are, we have one at Pulaski Elementary that's an outdoor hands-on project. They made the teachers write the grants this year. Couldn't have just some support from the teachers, and we support them, granting these. And the other 2 were actually our new career exploration teachers, so it's additional items for their class and their project. So they did a really good job. So we'll probably get some PR come out soon from TVA.
And they started on their 2024 grants, or?
They have not. This was this.
Yeah, I got an email the other day about some different grants coming up through the Tennessee Valley.
And this will be this year's. So it was Minor Hill, Elton, and Pulaski Elementary. 3 schools.
Out of 700 applications. That's excellent.
And that covers several states. They're
Alabama, Georgia, Tennessee, and
one of the Carolinas.
As long as we got some good grant writing and some good support too, sounds like. Awesome. Well, do we want to approve the acceptance of $14,600 in grants?
So moved.
Second.
Any discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed. Item H, salary corrections. Dr. Beard's going to talk about this, and we'll move from there.
The week we got out, right before we got out for Thanksgiving break, I was notified that we had 2 employees that had been overpaid since July 1. One of them was the base salary was incorrect on the salary agreement. Degree, years of service, and all of that information was correct. And with the big raise that we had, it was just an oversight. And then one of the employees, it was input incorrectly into payroll. One employee was overpaid $1,493.33. The other employee was overpaid $1,333.32. That's a total of $2,826.65. And part of that is in the teacher line that we talked about a little bit earlier with the BCBA. that money is there, since we're not able to hire a full-time BCBA. We did go through finance to ask audit, and as long as we brought it up to the board and asked that it be kind of forgiven, I guess, if you will, it is no fault of our employees that they were overpaid. It was just one of those things that, we're humans, and there are going to be mistakes that can be made. And with that being $2,826.65, I'm asking that you all would consider not taking that back from those two employees. And their salaries are going to have to be corrected. So going forward, with the December payment, or with their December check payroll, it will be corrected. But I would just ask you that maybe we consider not charging or taking that back from them. That would be, in addition, a chunk out of their paychecks for the next 8 checks. It can be done in installments. But audit said if the board approves it and it's documented in minutes, we would not have to take that overpayment back.
One of these cases was on the computer side of things, where the incorrect salary was input from the salary schedule, correct?
Yes.
Is that right? And then on one of the other cases, just the inaccurate amount was written on the contract. And both of these employees signed their contracts based on what they thought was accurate.
So they have to sign a new contract?
Yes, sir. One salary agreement is completely accurate. It was an input error into the computer. Like, instead of the salary being, say, $27,000, $28,000 was put into the computer. So that's just an example. On the other one, the incorrect base salary was put. It was a different degree level put on the salary agreement, and with the raise, it just was not evident. Unless you had a salary schedule sitting beside you, you would not have realized, oh, that's not the right base salary. So degree and years of service and all of that information was correct, but the base salary was not. It's about a $4,000 difference, so that's going to be a hit for that employee when you think about correcting that now. And then the overpayment, I just would request that we consider taking care of that, because it wasn't their fault.
Entertain a motion to absorb these overpayments with these salaries correction and salary schedule corrected on one instance.
So moved. That's not their fault.
Second.
Motion is made and seconded. Any discussion? Seeing none, all those in favor say aye. Aye. Those opposed.
Thank you. I appreciate your considering that.
Item I on the is scorekeeper's table. You got paperwork in here on that. This is another expense over $5,000. The money is available for it. This will be a new digital scorekeeper table for Giles County High School. Mr. Thomas, you want to add anything to that?
I think it's all there, sir. We explored it. We have, our basketball programs have money, and we went with a medium price. We didn't go with the low or the high. We went with a medium price. So I think we researched it out there to be able to upgrade our program.
And you do have the 2 different quotes within the packet, so you can see.
I imagine with advertising and the capabilities of a digital scoreboard like that, you'll be recouping some of this money.
The money's already there, yes, sir, but, with advertising and everything that can go through the board, we already have commitments that would pay for it without the money we have. So, you know, it can be paid for double at this time.
Entertain a motion to approve.
So moved.
Motion made and seconded. Any discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed. Item J, the Wakefield lease. If you guys remember, this is the property beside Giles County High School where we have the softball field, the baseball field, soccer practice fields, a lot of youth sports and whatnot there. There's always the interest from the Booster Club to maybe update or add facilities or whatnot down there, and we always start with the lease. This year when we were looking at the lease and putting everything together, it actually came up for the last portion of its renewal, which is this month. They are working on the lease. It is their intent to extend it 25 more years. So the original lease was 25 years starting in 2004, ending in 2009. The ability to renew every 10 years, 5% increase every 5 years, is that right?
Yes, sir.
And then obviously taking on the tax increases as well. Originated as a $1,000 a year lease. This year, the lease payment was $1,300, $1,364.11. So that's what it was after almost 20 years of servicing. So obviously that cost, but that amount of money for that. So it's the Wakefield's intent to give us a new 25-year lease, continuing with the 5% every 5 years, and us taking on the tax increases that come with that. So tonight, wanted that information out since we've been working on that, and since we don't have a lease that we can execute just yet, I thought we would vote on whether we wanted to extend that lease or not. We definitely would not want to be investing in facilities or anything on there if that lease is going to end in 5 years. 25 years seems much better. So if we were to vote to extend the lease, then the Wakefields know they can put pen to paper and re-up the existing lease with new terms.
So moved.
Second.
Made and seconded. Any discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed. So we'll have a lease that's ready for executing next, whenever that may happen, but now we haven't lapsed any of the lease agreement. No old business. Policy for first reading. We went over the policy 5.101 organizational chart in the work session. This is just a yearly update. Basically spells our hierarchy, fills in new positions, and signifies who is in control of where, when, how. Entertain a motion to approve.
So moved.
Motion made and second. Is there any discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed. Policies for a second reading, 4.700 testing programs, as we've discussed in 2 previous work sessions and a first reading. The highlights of this is now that state is allowing certain testing out of courses. We have to identify whether we would do that or not, and we have identified a few classes. And we have to update our policy to reflect that.
Motion to approve. Second.
Motion made and seconded. Is there any discussion? All those in favor say aye. Aye. Those opposed. Public comment, we have not had anyone issue anything on that. Board comments. Fire away.
I'm up first, huh? Since Chris is playing hooky.
Can't steal any Chris's thunder.
I can't ditto. Doggone it. I really appreciate the First National Bank comes and recognizes our employees. I think that's fantastic. And the changes we made with putting up the children's artwork, I think it just is another way that we can highlight the talent in our district and celebrate our kiddos and get them in here to see what public service can be about and how decisions are made as well. And have a Merry Christmas, everyone.
I feel like it's here. Are you ready for Christmas?
For Christmas, yeah. Thank you to everybody for all your hard work you do. Thank you for the teachers who's in the classrooms every day. Principals, y'all the ones that have to put up with those kids. Bless y'all. Merry Christmas to everybody. Hope everybody has a great one.
You can't see him anyway, Miss
him.
Williams.
You're around the corner.
Yeah, it's worn off. But, you know, my feeling for teachers and the love and the guidance that you give our children. And I think everybody that knows me knows that I am in your corner. I support you and I say thank you. And we are so blessed in Giles County to have the caliber of people, because I have friends in other counties and I'm surprised. But we are so blessed here. And so I want to say, and this beautiful work that we get to see, we have so many talented people, and we have the teachers that pull out that beautiful. So I want to say thank you all. Happy holiday, Merry Christmas, Happy New Year. And for those of you that I told, the dilation has worn off.
She can see. You never disappoint, Miss Willow.
I have a strange sense of humor.
I love it.
Merry Christmas to everyone, all employees, and everybody that puts this system together and makes it work. Remember to pay it forward during this time of the year, and hopefully to carry it on to other parts of the year. We as a human race need to remember who we are and what we represent. And we can no longer continue to be the bad individuals that some people are. We're going to have to clean our act up and for this world to work, and it's going to have to happen, or we're going to go down a rabbit hole that we won't be able to come back from. So we need to start now making sure that we take care of each other, you know, from our families all the way to the extended families and everything else that we have here. And so again, Merry Christmas to everyone, and hopefully we'll have a happier new year, and that way we get off to a good start. And so that's about something.
I tell everybody thank you, and not only have a Merry Christmas, but hope every one of you have a blessed Christmas through our times, our economy, our struggle. We got a lot of people struggling and hurting in our own county, and it's like Mr. Brewer said, think about them, and you know, give them a handshake or a hug, or you can afford a little gift, or, you know, a little token goes a long way, fills a heart full of love. But thank y'all for what you do. I know we got sickness going around. Thank y'all for cleaning and dealing with it, and just thank this board. We can come here together. Thank you.
Yes, sir. Thank you. Yeah, so we got a break coming up, one last day. I think that was a good decision coming from central office and what we're looking at, because if you don't know it, it is affecting our schools quite a bit right now. So we got a day to burn, and let's not use it. Let's use it Friday and get a little bit better. I started off with talking about Jackie Smith. I think I'll finish with it. You know, we can all only hope that either we or we have been touched, you know, by somebody. I say this all the time. It's my thing. And if anybody says they came up with it first, they're going to have to fight me. But life is about, your experiences and how others experience you. And I would think that Coach Smith would feel pretty good about both those things. And I'd imagine that he should know that the way that others experienced him as a football coach and a leader, and like I said earlier, as a stand-in father at times, or someone like for me who knew someone to get me to a place like Phillips Exeter Academy in New Hampshire. I mean, Jackie Smith, of all people, got me at the highest level prep school in New Hampshire, and I didn't even know what a prep school was at that time. So, that's just a small mark of what somebody like that can do just by caring and doing kind of what the board has talked about here, reaching out to people and being more than just a time or a space taker. But being someone who is experienced by others well. So I thought about him all week. It's a good deal.
Coach Smith coached me in high school, and then I coached with him, which that's a pretty good thing.
How neat is that? Yeah.
Although Jackie Lee was a character,
we know.
but I tell you what he did. He'd fight for his kids about as hard as anybody I've ever seen.
Yeah.
It didn't matter whether it was an official or what it is. He was going to break his clipboard and throw it at the official and make sure they knew they made the wrong call according to him. He was going to protect his kids, and that's how hard he stood on wanting to make sure that his kids were successful and finding the right places for kids to go. And I enjoyed being coached by him and coaching with him, so hate to see him go.
And I want to add that because I was fortunate enough to work with Coach Jackie Smith, and he could be very blunt, and I really respected him. I remember Shelley was one of my cheerleaders, and we got Springfield. We'll forget it, Springfield. I drove to the dogs and got there. We got to go to the gate, and guess Miss Shirley's sponsor was me with the bag and everything that we hauled. Well, I didn't have my pass, and Jackie Lee and Coach Wood, they were standing right there. And she said, "Ma'am, do you have your pass?" And I said, "No, here, I got some money." The girls, "Come on, Miss Smith." I said, "Wait, babe." And I said, "I've got some money. How much?" "Well, you don't have, and now, who are you?" And I said, "I'm the cheerleading sponsor. I got all this stuff." And she said, "Oh, you're the cheerleading sponsor." I said, "Yes." And I said, "Well, here, let me find some money. How much do I owe you?" And she said, "Well, do you have anything that says you're a cheerleading sponsor?" I said, "Remember, you are professional." I said, "Lady, do you know anybody that will haul all this stuff and pretend to be the cheerleading sponsor?"
To save $5.
And I looked over there and Coach Smith, he said, "I was gonna come over there, but you had that covered." So, but he was wonderful, and I did not know that he had passed on, but I thought the world of he and his wife and Shelley.
I've got a recording in my phone. Back earlier in the summer, he mistakenly called my number thinking he was the car dealership that was working on his car in Dyersburg. And he was asking me, he says, "When is my car going to be ready?" I'm not ever going to erase that off that phone because it's hilarious. And I called him. I said, "Coach," I said, "I don't know whether or not I can get your car fixed in time or not, but I like talking to you." Because he says, "Oh, I'm sorry, I didn't mean to call. I called the wrong number." But that's pretty neat that I still got him in my phone.
Yeah.
Talking up a storm.
Yeah, don't let that go. Save that somewhere. Well, thank y'all. Thank y'all for entertaining us, talking about somebody that's pretty special to us. Announcements. Again, the Monday the 11th at 2 p.m. It is an odd time. Is that committee meeting with the commission? On the 13th, we're having the walkthrough at Giles County High School at 12:30. Then we have our work session on the 14th, so several things going on next week. Then Christmas break, and then a board meeting on January the 11th, and work session on January the 18th. Motion to adjourn.